Since this was originally intended to be a TV series and not a sequel movie, it's only natural that there are some drawbacks. Welcome back to Jeffrey Talks, I'm Jeff and today we're talking Moana 2. But before we get started, if you're interested in movie reviews, make sure to subscribe, like and share for more. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it yet. I was pleasantly surprised by Moana 2. I thought it would be terrible, but it wasn't. I thought I was going to be disappointed, but I ended up having a great time. The movie stayed true to its roots when it comes to animation, colors, different views, and character arcs, but it also evolved in some ways. If it had been a TV series, the character arcs could have been developed even more. We would have been able to connect more with the characters, and the villain choices would have made even more sense. Let's start with the character arcs. Moana 2 does deliver some interesting developments on Moana and Maui's character arcs. From the start, we see Maui changing from the first movie. He's less selfish, and his care for Moana is amazing. Moana also seems more confident on who she is and how she acts, sailing the seas as a wayfinder. I also loved that this movie focused more on Moana's culture, historical stories, and ancestors. We met a bunch of characters, including her younger sister and the crew, but because of time limitations, we didn't really get to know the characters. I finished the movie not really able to bond with any of them. I did laugh at most of their scenes though. I enjoyed them as a part of the plot, but at the very end, they seemed like they were there just for the plot, not even their own characters to grow, which I hated. I mean, I do relate to a lot of them, but still. I loved Hey Hey and Poa, but some of their scenes were cringy and lost their humor. It's like saying the same joke over and over. It gets old. Another thing that was too repetitive was Maui's Chihu. I know it's the character's line and it's supposed to be repeated again and again, but it was becoming more of a burden. Call me the boring guy, but putting it in the script and in a song over and over again was kinda tiresome. Moana and Maui both had great story arcs. By the end of the movie, Moana had become a true wayfinder and a demigod. I was pleasantly surprised by the depth that was added to her character, and Mau's journey, going through all that just to break the curse, even if it meant losing his godlike powers, was just legendary. It was such a great example for his character. Moving on from the character arcs then, let's talk about the music. The first Moana song were obviously better, you know, since Lin-Manuel Miranda was involved. The songs from Moana 2 are not disappointing though, and some of them are kind of a bop, especially Matangi's intro. Now that we've brought up Matangi, let's talk about the villains in the movie. I blame the marketing for making me think that Matangi was supposed to be the villain, and my expectations for her arc were much higher. Although I was disappointed, her song made up for it. The post-credit scene shows that Nalu punished her, which is kind of sad because I expected her and Moana to team up or something. Their dynamic felt like a Moana and Maui kind of thing, which actually made the movie more interesting. I mentioned before that the crew seemed like they were there just for the plot. As for Nalo, the actual villain, I hated him. I didn't hate him because he wasn't redeemed like Te Fiti, but because it felt like they were using the plot from the previous movie. I'm not sure why we need another god villain when there are so many other cool things to explore in this world. The post-credit scene gave us a better look at his character and marked the return of Tamatoa, who I missed, but he looked so pitiful and small, which is actually so different from what he was in the first movie. I guess the post-credit scene suggests that more sequels or TV series could be a chance, and I hope that if they do, we'll meet better characters. I forgot to mention the ancestors. I thought their role would be more significant, but they actually appeared less than everyone else, which was frustrating. It wasn't that I expected more, but the whole plot revolves around them and their stories, so why didn't we get to see more of them? I love the introduction of Tuvasa, his story, and how it affected Moana's storyline. He was definitely a great addition to the series. That's my take on Moana 2. What were your thoughts on the movie? Would you like another sequel? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon.